This is going to be a very special episode of the Swaay.Health show. I'm excited because today I get the rare opportunity to interview two of my good friends who started the Pink Socks movement, and that's Andrew Richards and Nick Adkins. They're going to come online with me and talk to me about the origin of Pink Socks, talk about how Pink Socks has evolved. They just celebrated their 9th anniversary, and so that's what spurred me to kind of get them on the show to talk about this Pink Socks. And for those that have met me or seen Nick and Andrew, those are those pink socks that we literally hand out at every opportunity that we can. So today is your chance to learn what those pink socks are all about. Hello and welcome to Swaay.Health, where we bring you the latest insights and interesting stories from the brightest minds in healthcare marketing. I'm Colin Hung, and like I said, today on the program, welcoming my special friends that started the Pink Socks movement, Andrew Richards and Nick Adkins. I can't wait for you to hear what they have to say. Let's get to it. Nick, Andrew, welcome to the program, sirs.
Hey, Colin.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, great to see you, man.
Good to see you, Colin.
I see we're all sporting our Pink Socks attire. This is very good. We're each sporting a different one. This is fantastic. I love it. I love it. This is gonna set the mood. I've purposely wore this for you guys. Hey, you got your mug. This is great.
It's great. Yeah,
This is actually,
absolutely.
I'm kind of surprised. This is actually the first time I'm interviewing you, which is bizarre to think about since we've known each other for so long.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, so I'm definitely looking forward to today. Now, before we get started, for those in our audience that maybe aren't as familiar with both of you or the whole Pink Sock story, can each of you just quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll dive into this whole Pink Socks thing. So Nick, we'll start with you.
Hey, I'm Nick Adkins, and I'm sitting in Santa Cruz, California right now. It's good to see everybody.
Andrew?
Andrew Richards, and I'm sitting in Spokane, Washington.
All right. So right off the bat, when I, have the privilege of giving away and gifting Pink Socks, everyone always asks me, what is this about? What is this Pink Socks thing? Or they may have seen some of the posts and they're so excited to become part of this community. But maybe for our audience that isn't as familiar, can you give us a quick overview of what Pink Socks is?
I feel like it's a loaded question. Well, I can tell you a bit about the origin of this, and this actually goes back to how Nick and I know each other. So while we're in Washington State and California right now, when we met, we were both living in Portland, Oregon, and we were building a startup and, just learning about all kinds of crazy stuff. And as if you don't know, Nick always wears a kilt. And one of the best parts about Nick wearing a kilt is he gets to wear crazy fun socks all the time. And we would travel to raise money, as you do for a startup. And everywhere he went, Nick had different fun socks on. In fact, Nick and I were just reminiscing about this last night. We were texting each other, sending pictures back and forth to a specific time way back when at the Phoenix Hotel the Phoenix Inn in the Tenderloin of San Francisco. And we met this amazing couple. Nick, you want to talk about like just that whole experience? Because I think that's the catalyst to explain what Pink Socks is, because before any of the things that we have on now or the socks we gave away, it started there.
Yeah. So it was 2015. I think it was probably January, February. And as Andrew said, we had flown down from Portland to San Francisco to go beg for some money. And we're staying at the Phoenix Hotel. And the very next morning, we get up to have coffee. We're sitting out by the pool, drinking our coffee. And there's this older couple next to us at the pool. We're the only ones out there. And I was wearing they were robot monkey socks, really. They weren't the pink socks.
I think they're bright yellow socks too. Yeah.
They were yellow with kind of a red on the top. And anyway, they were cool. I mean, I had all kinds of fun socks I wore. Pink socks was just one pair in the whole drawer of, fun, funky socks. But that day I had on the robot monkey socks. And anyway, this older couple, the guy was just all smiles, and he says, I really like your socks. And boom, we heard the accent, and we said, oh, where you from? And they said, we're from Israel. And I believe he was a retired engineer or architect, and his wife was a retired general from the army. And his name was Shlomo. And he had the most infectious smile ever. And he was grooving on these socks. And I thought, hey, wait a minute. I said, don't leave. I'll be right back. And so I left Andrew make sure they wouldn't leave. And I went back to the room, and I had a brand new pair of those same socks. And so I gifted him these socks. And, you thought I would have given him, the keys to the city or something, right? And so it was more smiles and hugs and pictures and all that. And it was great. And, really, so Shlomo is the beginning of the Pinksocks story. And as you know, Colin, since those first pairs of Pinksocks that were gifted in April of 2015 in Chicago at HIMSS that year, through the years, the whole Pinksocks movement is built on this ethos of gifting. And it was those first pair of socks that were gifted to Shlomo that we got that reaction. And, so Andrew and I, we go back to Portland, and we're getting ready. We'd never been to a health tech conference, but here we were, these founders of a startup in Portland, and we're like, okay, well, this seems like the conference to go to. Let's go.
So we bought some flights, and what are we going to do? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But,
Yeah,
we couldn't stop talking about that experience in San Francisco. It's like, wasn't that just awesome?
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, what if we did that? Like, what should we do in Chicago? And Nick goes, why don't we just give people socks and see what happens and see who we meet? So
Yeah,
we stuffed like 50 pairs of socks each in our backpacks, hopped on a plane.
Yeah. So we loaded up with pink socks because those tended to be the ones that I got the most, hey, I like your socks every time I wore them. So as Andrew said, we went and got 100 pair of pink socks, and we rolled into Chicago and started giving away pink socks and using the hashtag pink socks. And wow, it went viral. It took over, and we met a lot of great people. Just boom, starting off with Eric Topol with the very first pair of pink socks as we're walking into the McCormick Center. And just on and on. I mean, we met so many people there that year, right? And people who are still friends now, and all because we gifted some pink socks. And the thing was, I told Andrew, I said, look, this conference is going to be about 40,000 or so folks in suits. I don't wear a suit. I'm wearing a
I don't wear a suit.
And
I'm a CTO. I don't wear suits. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
in
in jeans and a brewery t-shirt, right? I mean,
yeah, right. I said, so, so he wore some blue jeans and kind of rolled his pants up a little so people could see the socks. And that was by design. We just said, well, let's just roll in there, and everybody that comes up and says, hey, what's the story with the pink socks? Is we would say, well, hey, I'm Nick, and this is Andrew. It's good to see you. What's your name? And boom, and that connection would, and then say, wait, we got some for you, and give them some pink socks. Well, those 100 pair went just like that. And, in retrospect, we probably should have taken business cards. But,
yeah, we're having too much fun having that human connection. And there was not a quid pro quo. We weren't saying, here's socks, now do this. It was, here you go. Just great to meet you. And we went around the conference, and we put it on Twitter, years ago when Twitter was a very different place, and it just took off. And we met all these, like Nick said, we met these amazing people. And for us, it was just that experience of giving and making connections and having fun. And the side effect was, this really great business connections we made. But that was to me was a side effect. It was all of these people that we met that Nick said we're friends to this day. But the funny part to me is we do that. The conference is amazing. we're flying home and we go, well, that was cool. And we just said, well, that's probably the end of it. Like, wait, we gave away 100 pairs of socks. We met some cool people and we had a really great experience. And we're like, okay, well, what's next? And then we start getting messages. People are hitting us up on Twitter. They're emailing us. They're texting us. Hey, where can I get some socks? Can you guys ship me some socks? I have some I want to give to my friend. And we're hanging out one day. We go, what is this, man? People like left and right want socks everywhere. What did we do? And just that ethos of gifting and taking that moment of saying, hi, I'm Andrew. What's your story? And then giving someone the space to talk and share their story, and then sharing a bit about yourself, and just having that moment of human connection where it doesn't matter anything else that's happening in the world. That moment you get to share something with somebody new. And they ask about the socks, and then you're able to just gift them something. And now you have that memory of that connection physically in your hands. And to do it one more is if you give them 2 pairs and you go, well, that one's for you. And they ask, well, what's the second pair for? And say, that's for you to gift the next person that asks you about socks. So then you can have the experience that I just had that we shared. You get to do that again. And pretty soon people are going, can I get a dozen? Can I get 2 dozen? I want to give them to all of my friends. And you just watch this thing snowball. And so pretty soon we end up working with groups in Thailand to produce socks for us. And somehow we got into international shipping and textile manufacture, things that we never thought would happen, right? But just to feed the supply of people that wanted to have this connection. But coming all the way back to the original question, Colin, is what's it about? It's those millions of connections that happen that are authentic and genuine, that you can give a pair of socks, but even if you don't have socks, having that mantra of, well, I am going to be present and meet with somebody that's even beyond the socks. It's creating that ripple effect, as Nick likes to say a lot, of just like you make one person smile, they connect, they make 3 people smile. What could that do? And it kind of accidentally happened. And every day we discover something new about somebody that it impacted, or they reach out to us. So those connections around the world, that's what it's about. What we do with that is just this never ending, open, evolving question.
Yeah, that's
Well, I appreciate that. That's great. I mean, I love the origin story. I love, the story of that, the sharing those moments with people. Because definitely, whenever I give socks, it sparks that conversation, and it allows you, as you just said, Andrew, to have and get to know that person or the people that you're gifting them to. So, and for me,
you
it's
never
all about it is all about that gifting, right? It's about I won't say paying it forward, because that makes it seem like you're rewarding someone for something. It's not about that. It's just simply, hey, like, we've had a moment. I like you. I think we've done something here together, or I want to remember this moment. So here you go. Like, here's just something to that's an act of kindness to give to someone else. And then inevitably, yeah, people go, oh, this is amazing. Let me, where can I find out more? And thank you for the second pair that I can give to someone else. And yeah, it is a great conversation starter, or more importantly, a relationship starter.
right. It's a token, right? It's a tangible thing that you have, and that everyone has a story that goes with when and where and who gave them their pink socks. So they're not swag, they're not an award or a reward. They're a gift between 2 people, because the celebration of the connection that was made, right? And that's the puzzle piece on the socks, representing connection.
Now, recently, you guys celebrated, or Pinksocks celebrated, the 9th anniversary. It's been 9 years since that fateful day where you started this at the Chicago Hymns. How has the community or the movement evolved over those 9 years for you guys?
Yeah, before I jump onto that, or Andrew does, just to kind of reinforce what we're saying on this ethos of gifting and the celebration of a connection, and what does pink socks mean? All through these 9 years, and now I mean, we're in our 10th year, is we get asked that question, well, what does it mean? Okay, and so Andrew and I both do a very good job of this. Is when somebody asks that question, I always ask them, well, what does it mean to you? Because that's really what's important. It's, you know, and from the beginning, we've never said it's about one thing. It's about a lot of things. The Pinksocks movement is a paradox. It's a movement that's made up of multiple missions. It's not one thing. It's not about any one cause. It's not about one brand, one company, one anything. It's a celebration of a lot of people doing good things in the world. And so when I ask them, well, what does it mean to you? And they tell me what it means to them. In fact, I'm going to ask you, Colin, what does it mean to you? What does Pink
Wow,
Socks
now
mean?
you're gonna put me on the spot.
Yeah, just what does it mean to you?
Yes.
Well, Pinksocks to me means community, and it means paying it forward and gifting it forward. It means those moments to mark that moment in time when we met, or we had a great conversation, or we found we had something in common. And so when I describe Pinksocks, I describe it as a global community that's spreading kindness and goodness in the world for no other reason than I wanted to give you some socks, right? and to mark this moment. So that's what it means to me.
That's exactly what it means. Perfect.
Yep.
And so everybody has their own definition for the meaning, and everyone is correctly 100% accurate and right. And we've never changed that, and don't plan on changing that. So it's much like the love more that we're all wearing. People probably ask you, "What is that?" Boom.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to you? And it's a conversation starter. And through the years, a lot of marketing people, marketeers who are in the tribe, in this community, have struggled with, well, no, okay, great, but what does it really mean? It's got to be, what are you promoting? Tell me, and um, for the folks who can let that go and say, well, wait a minute, great, it's a celebration, it's a promotion of not just this, it's a celebration and a promotion of this. All of us get to ride this thing, right? We all get, applauded. And so, the exponential ripple effect of this thing. You've seen it through the years with us, Colin, and how so many companies and organizations start gifting pink socks at different conferences and conventions that they go on. And every time we send them, a big box of pink socks to give away at conferences, we always say, look, don't give these away as swag. Don't set them out, on the table or, at everybody's seat. Make it be a gift from one person to the next. So there's a handoff here, a connection between two people. And for the most part, that's how people do it, and it just keeps going. And, I still get up, even though Twitter is not what it used to be, but I still get up every morning, search the hashtag pink socks, see what's happening around the world and who's doing what. And it's fun. And I really try to just stay focused on the hashtag throughout the day and ignore
don't go off the reservation on that. That's not
and ignore the rest of the stuff. But it's like yesterday, some pink socks were given to Beto O'Rourke in Texas, in El Paso. And a week before that, there was somebody over in the UK that just got elected the mayor of his town. And, he said, I want to get pink socks to my new council. And through the years, other, political folks have gotten pink socks on, whatever party. And I just want to stress this, okay, especially where things seem to be in the world, is that, pink socks and this ethos of gifting and connection and spreading love and kindness and celebrating each other, that ethos of pink socks transcends all political ideologies and all geopolitical boundaries, right? And so there's so much crap out there. Just the algorithms are just you know killing us. Um, Pinksocks is an opportunity for you to step outside of that and realize what's really important. Where the magic happens is one person at a time. Where this connection, it's the celebration of humanity. It's where we see each other, where we see ourselves in each other. It's an opportunity for us to practice empathy and compassion. I routinely, when I speak at conferences or whatnot, I say, there's a lot of cool technology represented in the room, a lot of cutting edge, stuff. I mean, hello, what's happening with AI right now and how fast that's running away. It doesn't really matter how much money we raise or what cool technology we build. If we fail this human connection, you missed it, right? And so many of our friends and colleagues, and whether it's from the provider side, doctors, nurses, techs, patient side, the navigator side, the payer side. I mean, this whole ecosystem of healthcare, and how much of a beast that is, and burnout and all the things. At the heart of healthcare, it's a one-to-one. It's a one-to-one relationship. And, so many, each of us have shown up at so many conferences to share the patient voice and help amplify the patient experience. And there's a lot of folks using Pinksocks to do that. And I'm super grateful for that. And they're going strong. And we can just list off, all the people, the graces.
It's a long list. Yeah.
Long list.
It's a very long list.
It's a very long list. And I would counter with, let's don't lose the provider voice in there too, right? And these are doctors and nurses and folks in the hospital. They're showing up day and night with love and compassion and kindness and empathy, and working in a business that constrains them. And these folks didn't go to med school to run a business. They went to med school to take care of patients.
And whenever I've given Pinksocks to folks in who work in the front lines, they're super appreciative of it. But more than the socks, although they do appreciate a good pair of socks, it is about that connecting with the people they're taking care of as people, right?
Yeah.
Or being just knowing that someone out there cared about them as an individual, not even rewarding them for the job they've done, but just caring about them as an individual, because they're doing that all day for others. So
Yeah.
I've certainly seen that firsthand when I've had the opportunity to give the socks to nurses and to docs on the front line. But Andrew, what about for you? What you're the one who posted that 9-year anniversary post. How has the movement changed or evolved, improved over those 9 years from your perspective?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to, there's this moment, right? So we started, like I said, we gave 100 pairs away. People are calling us. So there's a point where Pinksocks really is Nick and me running a shipping operation and getting socks to all of these people, right? And we're going to events, but we're not intent. Like, our goal wasn't to drive this. It was just, we're going to start and give away. But there's events, we're coordinating meetups. You've been to several of those where we'll be at a conference. We'll just honestly pick the diviest bar we can think of, just so it's the anti-conference event and everyone comes over. But really, we were the catalyst for a lot of that. But when I realized that this had grown, is Nick and I were playing on Twitter one day, and I get a message, and Nick goes, "Hey man, good job setting that meetup. Like, I think it was in Boston. Hey, thanks for setting that meetup up." And I go, I didn't set that meetup. Did you? And he goes, no, I thought you'd. And then we realized in that moment that the community was now doing it themselves, where there was an event, neither of us were going to be there, and the people, like the Pinksocks community, said we want to have meetups, so we're just going to do it. And then you started to see meetups and then more meetups and events, and it wasn't just where Nick and I showed up, it was where the community just was present, and they were carrying forward the ethos of human connection, of gifting, of being present. And it was kind of funny. We went, wow, it's kind of out of our control. And then we both were very happy with that, because we never wanted it to be in our control. We just wanted to be kind of a shepherd to it and let it go. And as Nick said, when someone asks, what's it mean to you? Just letting that propagate over and over and over around the world. So that's when I knew this thing had really just gone beyond anything we could comprehend. And we supply it, we support it. We come up with a lot of great swag that we give away, but we really let the community go where they want to go. And they're all walks of life. We just spent a few minutes talking about the healthcare side, but there's so many people we work with in education, at schools. We meet with school kids all the time, giving away socks, anything that helps a young adult become a better human, right? Learning about empathy and human connection, to other tech companies, to businesses in general, to families around the world. Anyone that's open to the idea of that human connection, we're more than happy to connect with them, of all walks of life and ideologies. So when it just shifted to that, and it went beyond us just shipping some socks to this whole living and breathing thing, that's when I realized, wow, this has really grown. And that did not take very long. It took a year or two. And then after, it's just from there, it's just been amazing to watch. And we get on social media and search the hashtag just to see what's going on, right? Like, we don't even know, and we see, and then we try to support it best we can.
There was no plan on this.
Yeah, I think that's the key. This was not a let's start a movement. This was, let's give some socks away and meet some cool people. And here we are.
And so now, over 200,000 pairs of pink socks later, all around the world. And it continues to blow my mind. And I'm grateful for all the kind people that are spreading loving kindness around the world. Grateful for you, Colin. I saw you post something on LinkedIn. You were gifting some socks in Atlanta.
I was, yes.
And
yes.
creating some smiles. And so it's always good to see people out there smiling and, with their pink socks. So way to go.
I think that's what amazes me about the community, right? Over the 9 years, is that there is no master plan, right? It's not, to your point, it's not like this was driving a cause. It's not like it was driving a company. It is simply a group of people who wanted to do something nice for someone else, or share a moment together, and it's continued, right? And because of that, in my mind, it's always evolving. There's some physical manifestations of it. Like, yeah, we've evolved in terms of, well, there's scrunchies now, and there's there's t-shirts, there's rings,
right
there's exactly.
I'm having a bad hair day, so I don't need my scrunchie.
There's caps.
There's
right. There's
pins. Right? I mean, we've got
cufflinks, rings, necklaces
created by the community, right? This goes back to that, like I was saying, Colin, where this meetup is happening, and then you see all this swag, and I go, we didn't make any of that, but it's great. And then someone makes it and gives it away. That's what we want. Like, how do you say no to that? Actually, I want to hit one more thing about this growth of it. Was when we started, it was just two guys having fun, helping people out. And I remember the first time someone said, hey, can we give you guys some money so you can just give tons of socks? And we kind of went, I mean, you could, but I feel weird getting a personal check. And we said, do we need to make a nonprofit out of this? And then we had to do the whole, we need to start a nonprofit. Never in our wildest dreams did we think we'd have to do that. And we created one, and then to facilitate all of this, and that just really lit the fire on this thing, and just having that machine where we can build, just get tons of socks and ship them around the world. But that was one of those growth things that happened over the last 9 years. Never expected that. And now it's just the foundation of how we grow.
Yeah, it was 2015, 2019, we incorporated as a nonprofit. In 2020, we got our federal status as a 501c3 nonprofit, tax exempt, all the things. It's great. And like I said, over 200,000 pairs of pink socks now. We, I know we're probably short on time, so I won't get too much in it, but I would direct your audience to our website and scroll down to the learn more or about us, button and see what we're doing with schools. Go to our website, select, whatever amount you want to give us. And if you can be a monthly donor, that's even better. We have corporate friends on our website. If you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you can see who our corporate friends are. Couldn't do any of this without them. So super grateful. Amend Health, BioPlus, Fin Partners, the Holland and Knight, VidScript, Victoria Emergency Associates. And I really want to give a huge shout out to BioPlus Specialty Pharmacy. They're headquartered down in Florida. Without their support, I just can't tell you how important they are for us. And they're doing some really, really good work. They're a specialty pharmacy for cancer patients. And, a lot of times, going back to the N of one, each patient has a unique prescription that's unique to them. And so they need a compounding pharmacy to put their meds together. And what BioPlus does is every time they ship out meds to a new patient, they put Pinksocks in the box with the meds. And so here's people from all walks of life, from all ages, all around the country. They're getting a med shipped to them. They're going through something that's the worst time of their life. They're fighting cancer. And when they open the box and the pink socks are in the box, and then they read the story and they come to the website, it gives them a sense of, hey, I'm not alone. We're all connected, and there's a community inside of BioPlus that connects. We've given pink socks to children's hospitals, to the list is on and on and on. But BioPlus Specialty Pharmacy, it's one of those things you'd never hear of it unless you had cancer or somebody in your family was using them. But
definitely.
We're
You
grateful to
answered.
be helping them help create some smiles in a dark time. So grateful to them. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and you answered one of my questions, Nick. I wanted to give an opportunity for you guys to tell the world, at least to our audience, anyways, like where they can go to get involved. And you just highlighted it. That's perfect. And yeah, so you can donate any amount. It can be a one time. It could be a regular amount. You can obviously purchase socks at cost there to continue the movement and spread the word. Um, and uh, and yeah, I think the best, if I can be so bold, I think one of the best ways to continue that movement is to just continue to spread that kindness, right? Like Pink Socks is not, it represents a moment in time, but it's not just restricted to that, right? It's, be kind all the time. Like that's the ethos. So I think that's the best way to really pay it forward, is just because you're given a pair of socks doesn't mean it ends there, right?
Yeah.
Gift more if you can, but even if you can't, just take those moments and answer the questions when people ask you about the socks that you're wearing, right? And just take that moment
Mm-hmm.
to connect with them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That's why I like wearing
Absolutely.
the Love More gear, and then the van has the Love More stuff all over it, and it's hard to show up in the world as a douchebag when you're wearing a shirt that says Love More. You can't be rude in line at the post office or the grocery store wearing this. It doesn't work. So it sparks these conversations, and they're like, oh, that's the message. The world needs to do more of this. And we're like, yeah, and then boom, there's an opportunity for me to give away some socks or a sticker, and have a conversation. So it just, I don't, Andrew and I, we go, when does it stop? And I don't know, when does this message get old? When do we say we don't need more love in the world? It doesn't stop. And so And it's because of people like you, Colin, and everyone else who's gifting pink socks every day out there. One person at a time, one smile at a time, one pair of pink socks at a time. That's how we, we cannot always control governments and politics, but what we can control is how we interact with each other one person at a time, right? So keep doing that. Yeah, I'm grateful for you. Yeah, and you too, Andrew. Grateful for you too.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you to the both of you for being on the program today and giving us that background on Pink Socks and just telling some of these fun stories. I think our audience is really going to appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and share with you.
I really can't thank Nick Adkins and Andrew Richards enough for taking time out of their busy days to record this interview. They were fantastic. I loved hearing some of these stories about pink socks over the years, some of the ones I had never even heard of before. So that was enlightening for me. And I hope you enjoyed this episode as well and learned a little bit about the pink socks movement and what it really means. And hopefully you will take a little bit of that ethos of spreading kindness and love in the world forward wherever you are. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Also, head on over to Swaay.Health, that's Sway with two A's, .health, where you can find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode.